Hello and welcome to the Long-Term Care Planning presentation from Joseph Motta. One of the greatest concerns for seniors and their families is the cost of long-term care, especially the cost of nursing home care. Long-term care refers to a range of services that are necessary to meet your personal needs. Most long-term care is not medical care, but assistance with the basic personal tasks of everyday life, what we call the activities of daily living, or ADLs for short. This type of assistance is generally referred to as custodial care. The activities of daily living include bathing, dressing, grooming, eating, mobility, and toileting. So the question is, will you need long-term care? Well, when we look at the odds, your chance of experiencing a house fire is 1 in 1,200. Your chance of being in a car accident is 1 in 240. But your chance of eventually needing some form of long-term care is 7 in 10. Long-term care can include in-home health care, residence in an assisted living facility, or nursing home care. Truth is, long-term care is expensive. All forms of long-term care, whether it involves in-home care, assisted living, or nursing home care. In-home care organizations generally charge between $16 and $24 per hour, depending on the extent of services needed. This means that care for just 6 hours per day at $20 per hour will result in a monthly cost of $3,600. As recently as 2015, the average cost of an assisted living facility in the Cleveland area was $4,246 per month. The average cost of nursing home care in the Cleveland area was $7,665 per month, or $91,980 per year. About half of all elderly will spend some time in a nursing home before death. The average length of stay in a nursing home is 2.5 years. Many seniors think that they can avoid the costs of long-term care by relying on a spouse or a child to care for them. In reality, the demands of long-term care can place great stress on family members who try to provide the care themselves. It's usually one family member who bears the bulk of the responsibility for care, and that person is forced to give up much of his or her own life. This often leads to family conflicts that develop over who should be doing more to help mom or dad. And this leads to the caregiver often developing health problems due to overwork and stress. In terms of using your personal assets, long-term care is very expensive, and most people will exhaust those assets in a very short period of time. Medicare does not cover most long-term care services. It only covers the first 100 days of a nursing home stay. Drilling down further, the first 20 days are paid completely by Medicare, while days 21 through 100 require a copay of $164.50 per day. In order to qualify for Medicare coverage, you must first be hospitalized 3 full days prior to entering the nursing home. And you must be admitted to the hospital and not simply held for observation. And Medicare coverage will only apply if you require skilled nursing care. Custodial care, as we outlined earlier, does not qualify. Medicaid is a joint program of the federal and state governments that will cover the long-term care costs for those who have little or no money. Medicaid currently covers more than 60% of all nursing home residents. However, most seniors end up spending all of their money paying for their care before they can qualify for Medicaid. This is because Medicaid's financial standards are very strict. A single person may own assets worth no more than $2,000 in order to qualify. The spouse of a Medicaid applicant may keep only 1/2 of the couple's assets, up to a maximum of $120,900. Many seniors believe that they can attempt to qualify for Medicaid by gifting their assets to their children. Where this ends up causing problems is that any gifts given within the 5 years prior to submitting a Medicaid application will cause a penalty, disqualifying the applicant for nursing home benefits for a period of time that's based on the amount gifted. To get an idea of what that looks like, you would take the total amount of all gifts given within 5 years prior to filing the Medicaid application and divide it by the applicable private pay rate, which is currently $6,570 here in Ohio. So to look at that in this example, if you have a total of all gifts equaling $164,250 divided by the APPR of $6,570, this would result in a penalty period of 25 months. So a person who gifted $164,250 would have to wait 25 months after filing his or her application before they would start receiving Medicaid nursing home benefits. Another risk of this type of gifting is that assets given to children are subject to loss through creditors, lawsuits, divorcing spouses, death, and bad financial decisions that are made by the children. This means that potentially a person who requires long-term care within 5 years of gifting these assets would be left with no way to pay for their care if their children have not preserved the money. A better method of planning for Medicaid is to transfer assets to what's known as an irrevocable trust. So in exploring this concept further, we see that the first step is to move assets into an irrevocable asset preservation trust. Assets transferred to an irrevocable trust will not be counted by Medicaid if the transfer was made more than 5 years before admission to the nursing home. This means that an irrevocable Medicaid trust provides protection if the 5-year rule is not met. Assets in the trust have been preserved and protected. This allows for assets to be distributed from the trust to the children, who can return the funds to the parent that needs to pay for the nursing home. The key to all of it is to plan ahead. Timing is essential when planning for long-term care. The sooner you begin the planning process, the more you will be able to preserve for your family. So even though advanced planning results in the greatest amount of asset protection, knowledgeable legal assistance can even help save a significant amount of assets for someone who has not planned and requires long-term care immediately. This is what we call crisis planning. If you would like more information about how to prepare for long-term care, step 1 is to call Joe Motta at 440-930-2826 or visit us online at www.josephlmotta.com. We thank you for your time and attention today, and we look forward to serving you soon.